Hello there, I'm Linda K. Gifford. It's been a very, very long week. I haven't seen you guys for a week, in part because Facebook thought that I got hacked, and really I had to move like codes around and stuff, and was using a different server, blah de blah. Hang on a sec, working on my shorts to make sure nothing's going to be on fire. My son decided leaning the bike on the torch was the best idea. Anyway, I'm Linda K. Gifford, and I am a sexual abuse survivor. And before I ever admitted that to anybody, on here at least, I was talking about politics and stuff, and boy, I've come open, gotten really open with dealing with the kind of PTSD that those who have been in denigrating, emotional, abusive situations for a long time have. And I have been really working on triggers and managing triggers for many years now, and very actively since just snapping from media stuff and having a blackout almost a couple of years ago, that started me writing, that ended up turning into this book that I'm close to publishing, and there's a guide coming out called From Trigger to Happy, and it is detailing the kind of things that I have pinpointed that I do that makes me ride through the things that used to trigger me, sometimes into migraines, sometimes into blackouts, and literal blackouts, like where you wake up somewhere in a field or a closet or just somewhere, and you don't remember, and you just go on, these kind of things. PTSD survivors understand what I'm talking about. Other people will message me or flat out say in the comments that I'm crazy. There is a reason why I see a therapist an hour a week, and it's not because I'm crazy, but if you want to call it that, okay, you're welcome to your label. You can label me. I'm certainly putting myself out there, so I'm going to have a sip of a strawberry daiquiri seltzer. They're really good, actually. So what I want to talk to you today about specifically is how to use compartmentalization for you instead of against you, for good instead of evil, as I like to say. Hi, son.
Your picture's on fire. I'm joking. Oh my God.
I just checked those too. You freaked me out. Okay. All right. Love you. That's my 16-year-old. Yesterday was my 25-year-old's birthday. My oldest son is 25. 25 years old. It's crazy. And so wonderful and so successful. My other son is 23, and they both just graduated from various college programs. One is an environmental geological hydro engineer, civil engineer. I'm not sure what the actual label is, but all that's involved. And this one in communications and marketing, and he was in the Young Americans, and now he's still in school taking like business and marketing and more comm stuff, and I couldn't be prouder. That one was my 16-year-old Willie. So I have a joyous life. I do. I'll work that in since Willie walked in. Some people think, I must be miserable because I fight all the time. It's like, actually, I'm joyous because I fight all the time. I have found my joy in helping others and in coaching others. And yeah, when I decided to be straight up about my story, I knew I'd get some blowback. And yes, sir, I did. And for those of you thinking about opening up about your stories, but you're afraid of the blowback, you will get it. You will probably get it. People don't rally around to support you, not even the women folk, oddly enough. Which is the other thing this week that's got me really all the reasons why I have to talk to you about how to use compartmentalization for yourself, for good, not evil. Because we're going to talk about how compartmentalizing was a can be a bad thing when you go into a place that you can't get back out of readily because you aren't trained to do so. You have to train your mind. It is a mental training thing with PTSD. You go down that rabbit hole, so to speak, you can go and keep going or not. And it is your decision. It is. And many people are like, no, I can't help myself. And it's like, well, that's an attitude I just can't really work with, other than to try to convince you to try to help yourself, because nobody else is going to help you. Really, nobody wants to be your caretaker. You know, if you're looking for someone to love you and be your caretaker, that's going to take the passion right out of that relationship. And I'm all about passion, as you know. That's another thing I talk about a lot, is not getting into relationships for things, for a solid, a good credit score. I was just watching Daddy's Home this weekend as a family, and it's one of the things he said, you know, and the king, the queen left the step, or left the whatever for the stepdad for the good credit, and it's like, but that's the truth. That's God's truth. And so women, those women who allow us to continue to be commodities, they're doing us all a disservice, and that makes me angry. So what's with I'm going to call it water gates and gates? I mean, with all the threat to democracy and stuff and shutting down pipelines, whatever, it's almost just kind of like bubbling along, not too much outcry. These guys, I mean, Representative Gaetz, who I wouldn't have expected more. Well, I guess I actually would have, even from any adult male, I would expect more. But I'm not as surprised as Bill Gates. Really? Really? God, I want something to come through where this is like not happening, where this is explainable in some other way. Philanthropic. I mean, you can't be around that and not see what's going on. And the exploitation of girls and women and children is just so disgusting to me that I literally, well, almost 2 years ago, blacked out. And it sucks. And I don't want to go to that place again. I don't want to go to that dark place again. I came in, I attacked my then, I won't say partner, but then human that I was trying to be a partner to, but in all the wrong ways. And I don't remember it. I've been told what happened. I only have a tiny flashback, tunnel memory. And this is what happens to us. This is where we're going to talk more about compartmentalizing. I'm going to be short tonight because I'm going to be real specific. This is the compartmentalization talk. Throwing in a little bit what's going on in the world that has me thinking along these lines. And it's also because it's important, and it's going to be and is in the Trigger to Happy guide that will be out like next week. And now what you're going to do is just tell your mind you're in control. You're the one talking inside there. Even if there's 3 or 4 of you, there's a main one talking in there. And you are going to now just say, this thing stressing me out, this worry, this concern that I can't do anything about till tomorrow, till whenever, I'm going to set it aside. Put it aside until you can deal with it. Because if you're like me, these things just build up, and you're so stressed and you don't sleep. I have a very hard time sleeping. It is the number one challenge of my life, is trying to sleep. And I've just started having success with it in over 30 years of trying to sleep more than 3 to 5 hours a night. For real, never more. That's a good night, 5. 3 is common. But lately, I've actually found the way. And it's by taking each one of my stressors and wrapping them with this unique ability I have to separate things instead of using it against myself to pull away from being abused. instead of telling or something. Now I can take this skill, and so can you, and turn it into a way to file something. File it not into the deep dark recesses of Never Never Land. File it gracefully into I'll deal with that at the appropriate time, whatever that may be. And make sure there's an appropriate time, which we'll also talk about more. But I just wanted to share that with you because I was thinking about that. I am knee-deep in rebooting feelgoodfairtrade.com, both the Facebook pages, the store. I moved so many things around that they like went, oh, you can't sell or buy anything, so I can't boost any posts or anything. I couldn't until today. Now they've unlocked me, and we just have a whole new experience coming, a whole new experience, a multi-level platform store collection experience. And I'm working around the dang clock, I'm telling you. Dang. Yeah, I'm not cussing. Do you know the last live stream, I didn't boost it or anything? It went to 3,400 people, and that was a week ago. So you guys, that's cool. More comments, more talking, more joining the group. And I'm working on the shop. I had it kind of released today, but it was showing my cost instead of the prices. And I'm sorry, but that's not going to help Sweet Survivor Rescue Fund at all. So I went in and I finally figured out what it is. Some of them, most of it's okay, but some of the products, it's hard to explain. They're entered at a compare price when it should be cost price. I'm going to fix all that by not sleeping. And I will talk to you soon. So think about compartmentalizing. Going to talk about it more. Going to get in way in depth into it in the book. And also, in a practical sense, going to give you some outline on that in From Trigger to Happy. I'm going to talk more about From Trigger to Happy tomorrow. So, talk to you soon. Good night. I had thinking of something clever to say, but nothing came. Oh well, some days are just like that. Good night.